My name's Katie. I am an aspiring teen author. This is one of the stories I started. British Columbia, March 2048. It's official. Last night at 7:30 Atlantic Time, Prime Minister Jones signed a treaty with France. Canada has officially joined the war. As of now, it's unclear what that means for the economy. But Jones has warned us that luxury items will be rationed. He advises families to stock up on goods such as flour and sugar before they're rationed. Growing a garden will become mandatory in rural areas, and certain vegetables will become mandatory to grow in the city. See your closest gardening store for the complete list. The TV broadcaster's voice was abruptly cut off as the television switched off, signaling that someone had turned it off using the remote in their watch. Mom, I was willing to bet. Hey! My younger brother Donnie cried indignantly. He knew Mom could hear him if she was close enough to hear the TV. However, it was our younger sister Florence who flounced into the room a few minutes later. Mom said you weren't allowed to watch anything about the war, she sang conceitedly. I can take care of myself, Flo, I snapped irritably. I wanted to watch that. If you turn it back on, I'll tell on you, Allie, Florence insisted. I knew she was serious. The best I could do was insult her. Florence, I said flatly, standing up, bite me. I stalked out of the room and down the hall, ignoring the look of outrage on my sister's face. I rode the escalator to the second floor of the house and crossed the hall to my bedroom door, which was displaying a holographic image of a forest setting. It was skipping again. The bird noises came and went in spastic bursts of sound, and the holographic creek water continuously froze in its path. I fiddled with the control panel on the wall for a couple seconds, then shrugged and shut down iHollow altogether, revealing the plain brown wood of the door. It's not like this was unusual. Almost everything in our house was slightly glitchy because Dad converted them to run on solar power or cow crap or something like that. Not that anyone said anything, they were just impressed he found a way to be an environmentalist in an electronic world. I pressed my thumb to the gel pad above iHollow's control pad, and my door whooshed open. I walked in and flopped down on my bed. I groaned and scowled because it made me feel good. Curse my goody-two-shoe little sister. Was it so wrong to want to learn about the war? Now I know you're probably confused, so I'll explain. On January 17th, 2046, a man called Klein invaded France. This inevitably signaled the start of World War III. No one knew it would happen. The last World War was over 100 years ago. Well, okay, my grandfather knew it would happen. Morons, he'd mutter at the TV whenever we saw him. He had it permanently tuned to the news. They act like they're surprised, as if this isn't exactly what happened last time. Next thing you know, they'll be talking about Nazis like they've never heard them before. His grandfather fought in the Second World War. As a kid, he was so interested in the world wars that he'd ended up writing a best-selling novel. He was the celebrity of our family. He also let Donnie and I watch about the war whenever we were over at his house. He even agreed not to tell Mom and Dad about it because he knows how they feel about the war. Well, really just Mom. Ever since the war had started 2 years earlier, she'd been terrified that Canada would join the effort. And now that they had, she was terrified that Donnie and I would want to enlist. I turned 16 in April, but a pen pal of mine had enlisted 2 years ago and he'd only been 17 then. Nobody even checked whether he was 18 or not. Nobody cared. Or so he told me. Mom didn't like me writing to him anymore. He was right on the front lines, but there wasn't a whole lot she could do about it. Hale was my best friend. My only friend. I sighed. I'd been meaning to finish his socks. I was learning how to knit, and he was always complaining good-naturedly about how cold it was on the front. My door whooshed open once more, but I didn't worry. Donnie's was the only other thumbprint I'd verified for access to my room. Hey, Allie, you want to go down to Grandpa's and see if we can catch the tail end of the news? He asked, ducking under my curtain of red and white beads. Canada all the way, baby. Donnie's only 14, but he could easily pass as 18 or 19. He's tall, muscular, and he sounded like a full-grown man since he turned 12. It'll be over by now, I said tonelessly at the ceiling. I'm small for my age. Well, really just short. 5'4". Yeah, Donnie sighed. You're probably right. Damn Florence. Yes, I agreed. Florence was your typical 10-year-old girl. Small, annoying, and always around to Mom and Dad when we did something wrong. Damn Florence. Donnie turned to leave, but something was holding him back. Things are going to change, he said. He looked excited, nervous, eager, and scared. Don't you think? Canada's in the war now. I smiled. I hope so, I said truthfully. See, there was a reason Mom was so scared about us enlisting. Everyone knew that Donnie and Elaine Andrews were different from the rest of their family. Braver, flightier, more ready to take risks. Donnie and I, we were fighters.